Good day, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday reflection on the baptism of the Lord for year C. The theme of our reflection is Transformed for Transformation. You are my son, the beloved. With you I'm well pleased. Zachary Ludwig was baptized at 20 under the most unusual circumstances. He was a Marine fighting in Afghanistan at the time. The chaplain, dressed in an olive green t-shirt and shorts, led him into an irrigation ditch flowing through the compound of an Afghan home where Ludwig and his platoon camped. He chose to be baptized because he was terrified and was wondering why he had survived when his best friends did not. He was also concerned about how he would cope with the stress of combat and whether anyone cared about his action on behalf of his country. He sought security and solace, believing a spiritual life will provide it. Dripping on the dirt courtyard after his baptism, he told a journalist, "I wanted to be closer to God so that He could keep me safe." Zachary had a reason for seeking baptism, even if it was driven by fear. As we celebrate the baptism of the Lord, an important question arises: why am I baptized? Reflecting on the baptism of Jesus offers us insight into our own baptism. In baptism, God transforms us into His sons and daughters and gives us the mission to transform the world. How do our readings convey this reality? We are told that after Jesus was baptized, the Spirit descended upon him like a dove, and a voice from heaven declared him God's beloved Son. God commissioned him to establish the everlasting covenant of abundance, which Isaiah referred to in the first reading. Baptism cleanses us of original sin, bestows upon us the Holy Spirit, and makes us sons and daughters of God. The second reading reminds us that if we embrace this reality through faith, we can experience the abundance of everlasting covenant in our lives and bring it forth into the world. Baptism is a sacrament that transforms us into sons and daughters of God, equipping us with the mission to change the world. As a result, the effects of baptism are permanent. Even though many of us were baptized as infants, our baptism is not merely a past event. It is an everlasting reality. A daily invitation to draw closer to God and assist Him in His work of saving the world. We are called to be God's beloved sons and daughters in our various environments and to make the world a better place. In our everyday lives, we may not possess the power to do great things, but we do have the power to perform good deeds. Today, let us reflect on whether we remain faithful to the direction in which our lives were pointed at our baptism. What hinders us from staying faithful? We become caught up in the pains and pleasures of daily survival and lose sight of who we are and why we are here. We forget that the world is not the source of our lives. Instead, it is God who grants us life to transform the world. After a careful reflection on the implications of baptism, Henry Nouwen concluded, "In the life of the beloved, spiritual living in the secular world," and I quote, "Spiritually, you do not belong to the world, and this is precisely why you are sent into the world. Your family and your friends, your colleagues and your competitors, and all the people you may meet on your journey through life are all searching for more than survival. Your presence among them, as the one who is sent, will allow them to catch a glimpse of the real life. everything changes radically from the moment you know yourself as being sent into the world. End of quote. From his baptism onward, Jesus was always conscious of his presence in the world as someone sent by the Father to bring fullness of life. Our baptism challenges us to exhibit the same sense of purpose and mission. Zachary Ludwig, the Marine who was baptized in Iraq, accepted baptism because he wanted to feel safe on the war front. Reflecting on Jesus' baptism reminds us that beyond our selfish needs, we become God's beloved sons and daughters in baptism to transform the world. This week I invite you to do the following. If you have not been baptized, speak to a priest about the significance of baptism. If you are baptized, remember the date of your baptism and plan to come and light a candle on the anniversary of your baptism in the church. Secondly, be conscious of yourself as God's ambassador in all you do. See each of your experiences, especially the most challenging ones, not as isolated incidents, but as occasions specially designed by God to enable you to say a fuller yes to Him. Have a blessed week.